Welcome to the 2020 New Testament Challenge. We're here today in Matthew chapter 8. There are two places in Scripture where it says that Jesus was amazed. The first is here, where a centurion had a servant who was ill. He simply said to Jesus, "You say the word and my servant will be healed." And Jesus was amazed because he had such great faith. He believed. The second place that Jesus was amazed was in Mark chapter 6. Jesus was at his hometown, but he couldn't do any miracles there because of their lack of faith, and Jesus was amazed. Two places, great faith and a lack of faith, that Jesus was amazed. I know that I want to have great faith, and you do as well, and it simply is about believing. At the end of this chapter, there's a situation where a community had a problem. They had two men that lived up in the tombs, and they were so violent that they couldn't go that way at all. Jesus came, and he was going to cast those demons out of those two men. But the demons did not want to leave the area because the people were easy prey. And so they pleaded with Jesus to allow them to go into the pigs. That's the first place where we find deviled ham. Well, Jesus cast them into the pigs, and they ran down and they drowned. The story went into town, and the whole town came out, and you would think that they would say, "Jesus, this is wonderful. You saved our problem. Please come because we need revival." But that's not what they did. They pleaded with Jesus to leave their area. It's amazing. People wanted their problem fixed, but they didn't want to pay the price. John Maxwell once gave a sermon entitled, "Fix Our Problems, but Save Our Pigs." And that is so true in so many people's lives today. They want God to do something, but they don't want their lives to change. If we want God to transform us, we need to be willing to do whatever he tells us to do. And Scripture says he wants us to be holy just as he is holy. That means if there's something in our life that doesn't fit, that God can't bless, we need to get rid of it. The Kendrick brothers made movies such as War Room and Courageous, Facing the Giants. Their latest one is called Overcomer. When they started making movies, they used all volunteers. And the pastor would meet with all those that were going to volunteer for the movie and would ask them one question. Is there anything in your life that would keep God from blessing this ministry? If so, they needed to leave, or they needed to get their lives right. Are you willing to pay the price for God's blessing to come? That's always the question. I pray that I and you as well would be willing to do whatever Jesus tells us to do to get rid of anything that doesn't belong so that his blessing and his presence would come into our lives. Thank you for joining the 2020 New Testament Challenge.